concept of God in Buddhism. This word God is a very difficult word to explain. Yeah, but something about us human beings, all of us human beings, needed in some way some concept of something different from our daily life. All human beings have a capacity for religion. All. Right? The manifestation of the religion may be different. You look at Christians, very different from us. Look at Hindus, very different from us. Look at Muslims, even more different from us. Yeah? But wherever they are, whatever do, even those who say they have no religion, are in a sense have a religion. Their religion is no religion. Okay? And even that is because as human beings, we are manusya. Manusya means mano usha. Mano, mind. Usha, develop. That which can develop the mind. Yeah? You'll notice only human beings have religion. Have you seen dogs and cats having their private religion, one cremate, one bury? No. Okay? They die, they walk off. But only human beings have that capacity for religion. And to show that, look at we all human beings, doesn't matter where, who, which part of the world you are from, which century you are from also. Yeah? We all have what is called, because we are human, we have what is called numina. Numina is defined as a fear of the unknown. How many of you have had this experience? You are all alone. You are living in a huge house. Yeah? And it's Friday the 13th. And it's midnight. And you're just going off to sleep. As you're all alone. You're just going off to sleep when you hear somewhere in the distance. Have you been walking? Have you been to a big tree? Have you? And we see that all over the place here. Have you seen a big tree? And when you're alone, you feel you are not alone. You feel that there are things that are looking at you from behind the curtain, you know, or it's a moonlit night and you see a shadow. Yeah, these are our ancestors felt that very much more strongly than us. We have electric lights and so on, so we don't see that so much. But if you are living in a village, if you are living without electricity, you will get this sense of that comes also from something we manusya have. Our manusya tells us that we are not alone. We are not alone because I exist. There is an I. I exist. If I exist, then I exist because there is something outside of me. This we call the development of self-consciousness. Sorry, it's a bit technical. Yeah? But development of self-consciousness. When you become aware of an I, that's when you become afraid. If you are not, there is no I, there is no being afraid. Okay? Now, think of your ancestors thousands of years ago walking alone in the jungle, and it's no moon and it's dark, and everywhere they see all these things are there waiting to whack you. How do we see that? Have you seen Aboriginal statues? Gods are all you know, big teeth, big claws waiting. We made those statues because we have imagined them as, and you can't blame them. You can't blame our ancestors. Thunder, lightning, rain, volcano, earthquake, all of lions, tigers, all waiting to get you, and you are so weak. You are alone. See how the idea of God comes about, yeah? They are very, very powerful. They are very big. They are very fierce, very unfriendly. And here I am alone, looking around, 4 feet tall, got a little stick to poke the monkey or to poke the tiger, you know. And I know I cannot use my strength to make those things go away. But as a human being, I'm coming to God. I haven't forgotten God yet. Yeah? But as a human being, I have something no other animal has. Very strongly felt in Putrajaya. Cunning. I know that tiger is much more fierce than me. I know that fierce animal there waiting for me at the back there is bigger than me. But I know something, animism. Animism is where I make all these things alive. Nature is alive. And this nature is waiting to whack me, thunder, lightning, rain. I cannot fight it myself. But if I can get those on my side, then I can use them to do the dirty work for me. I use the spirits. I therefore make spirits. But when I address the spirits, this is what we call a euphemism. Euphemism is where, have you ever considered all the gods in the world? Maybe Hinduism a little bit accepted, but all the gods are all very soft, very nice, very effeminate, very pretty. Have you ever seen a god? No. Why? Because when you have your cunning and you are there trying to make friends with those forces and make the forces don't rain, don't hit me with thunder, don't send this elephant behind me. You please help me. You are stronger than me. All right? This is how the concept of God arises. So when you have that, then you go to this fierce thing that is waiting there. You cannot say, hey, you fierce bugger, come and help me lah. Why you all like that? You can't talk that. What would you do? You'll put him in a good mood. And how would you put him in a good mood? Oh, you beautiful God. Oh, you friendly. Oh, you kind. Oh, you... He's actually like that. I know that. But to put him in a good mood, I give him all the kind characteristics. And as time goes by, slowly these characteristics take over. And then we have fierce gods being seen as helpful. Okay? Right. So Numina. Numina is where I have this idea that there are powerful forces around me whom with my cunning I can twist around and use for my own purpose. Who can do that? Priests. So you see, one of the concepts of religion, yeah, one of the bases of it are priests. Who are priests? They are the go-between, the bomo. Yeah, they're the go-between. Okay. Then, of course, bribery. Right? Bribery in real life also. You never go to this fierce thing like that with your hands empty. You always bring some fruit, you bring some sacrifice, you bring something to make the deity happy. Okay, so the aspects of rites and rituals, you approach in a certain way. This way I pray to you and so on. Okay, then I will mix the rest. Magic, these are all elements of religions today. Of all elements of religion which have come, I'm cutting a long story very short. Okay, yeah, magic is technical term. Magic is the use of my intelligence to make nature do what it wants me to do. I don't want it to rain, so I use magic. Bomos do that. Do you know how to stop rain? Vesak time, I try, it works with me every time. Alright, I use magic. Take a stick, poke an onion. Do you do this? Poke an onion, poke a red chili, and put a bit of salt, and I guarantee you won't rain. Until the show is over, it won't rain. But what is that? Magic. Using my whatever powers I have to make the gods do what I want it to do. What do we do when we fall sick? We run to the temple, we make a vow. And when we make a vow, we are asking the gods to get this fear to go away. Okay? Now that is magic is used in every religion. Certainly in Buddhism we use that holy water, we use this thread, these kind of things are all used in the hope that these forces that are more powerful on me, which I am very frightened of, which I pujo, I try to make, all right? And as time goes by, the bad qualities get pushed away. The fearsome qualities get pushed away, and God appears as a kind, gentle person. But when you see in reality, this is what the Buddha showed us, that when you look at it in reality, nature is still against us. That's what the Buddha calls the first noble truth. There is suffering. There is suffering, is there. It is not created by a God or whatever. It is by ourselves. Okay? Right. Characteristics of religion. We have talked about. Now, the first religion of the world all over, still practiced today, is what we call animism. Animism is where with our noumena, we, all human beings, felt that nature is alive. Thunder, lightning, rain are not natural phenomena, but gods. And you need these gods to help you, and you can control them. Okay, so that is the first religion of the world, that's animism. The religion of the Sakais, the religion of the Aborigines, and that evolved into many gods, polytheism. Many gods is the next form of religion, where polytheism, Hinduism is one such religion. Then you have henotheism. Henotheism is where there is many gods but one ketua. You get the idea? Animism, many gods. No, animism, everything is God. Everything is a God. The tree, the thunder, the lightning, they're all one. That's many. But there needs to be a management, there needs to be control. So what we do is we have many gods, one God in control. Hinduism, many gods, many thousands of gods, but one God, Brahma. So that is what we call henotheism. Then we go further and we get Christianity, Islam, and all that we call monotheism. So all these religions exist in the world today, but it is a movement starting, as the Buddha told us, it's not all there in the first place. It was by our human intelligence, our human understanding that I am not alone, that I brought these gods into the picture. Okay? Now, when we think of religion, is it all one thing? Somebody tried to give a definition of religion. Think about Buddhism and see whether this is the dictionary definition of what religion is. Human recognition of a superhuman control. Human recognition of a superhuman controlling power, especially of a personal God entitled to obedience. When you think of Christianity, certainly yes. But these dictionaries are English dictionaries. So a Christian definition of God would be I recognize there is this power, and this God is entitled to obedience. By that token, Buddhism is not a religion. By that token, Buddha is not a God. Okay? So that's where we separate. Now, however, while religion defines God in the religion this way, anthropologists, the scientists, have another way of explaining this idea of God. There is an unseen order. Think Taoism. In Taoism, do we have a God? Or rather, does not Taoism say there is chaos? The whole world is all upside down. Yeah? There is old age, disease, death, there is disaster, the whole world is in a mess. Yeah? And it looks like everything is in chaos. Everything, our own life, when you look around you, is there a meaning to all of this? Is there a meaning? The Christians will say yes, God organizes everything. The Muslims will say God organizes everything. Yeah? But the Taoists will say no. The Taoists say this is the universe. This is the way the universe operates. There must be thunder, there must be lightning, there must be volcanic eruptions, there must be all of these things. Alright? Now, there is an unseen order behind the chaos of the yin and the yang. There is an order. When you see that order, then you see the Tao. And this Tao is not God. This Tao is the order, to be able to see beyond. Okay? And our supreme good lies in our harmoniously adjusting ourselves thereto. What does that mean? That if we want to be happy, our supreme good, if we want to be happy, we cannot change like the early people did, try and change the thunder and the lightning. All of this is already there. Is already there. We need to know how to work with that. We need to know how to work with the chaos. What do I mean? Christianity, Islam, and Judaism, yeah, they say there is danger. There is everything, there is danger, old age, disease, death, yeah, what I want, I don't get, all of this. There's a lot of danger out there, all right? And like I tried to tell you earlier, our job as Christians, Muslims, or Hindus is to pray to God to make the danger go away. I repeat, the God religions would say that their function is to ask God for the danger to go away. Buddhism and Taoism says no. Buddhism and Taoism says danger is there. Danger is there, is already part of the universe. This is how the universe operates. Old age, disease, death. What you want, you don't get. What you don't want, chases after you. You cannot change these things. But the Buddha tells you, while you cannot change, while you cannot ask the danger to go away, you can do one thing. Like the Taoists, adjust yourself. Adjust yourself to work in harmony with the yin and yang. Buddhism teaches you not to make the suffering go away. The suffering cannot go away. That is the Dhamma. That is the way the universe operates. You buy one, free one. Nobody has been exempted. What can Buddhism teach you? Buddhism can teach you how to live with that suffering. You grow old, you fall sick, you die. You cannot ask it to go away. It is just like you come to a river and the river is flooded. and it's very dangerous and you can't swim. Right? But you want to go to the other side. So you stay on this side and you pray to God and ask the God, God, I want to go to the other side. Please, I cannot swim, but please do me a favor, God. Ask that side to come this side. Can or not? No. This is the way the universe is. This is a river. But what can you do? You want to go to the other side, use your brain. You are Manusya. Cut down some bamboo. Tie the bamboo. Make a raft. Use your effort. Make a raft and row yourself across. You get the point? The point is, don't ask God to do things for you. The Buddhist and Taoist approach is, we call these religions humanistic religions, where these are controlled by God. Not controlled by God, but controlled by man. You see that? There is an unseen order. Although you can't see it, behind all this chaos, there is an order. And if you understand, like the Taoists do, if you understand how it operates, you live according to it. Yeah? For example, disease. If you have disease, you cannot run away from disease. All the medicines in the world, all the hospitals in the world, you cannot run away from it. What can you do? You can take preventive measures. When you are young, live a healthy life, etc., etc., etc. All right? And don't do things that will go against you. Use your intelligence. Yes, I will fall sick. How do I cope with it? Not make it go away, but how do I live with it? You get the point? That's why we use the lotus flower as our symbol. The lotus flower. Where does the lotus flower grow? It grows in the ugly, filthy, black, smelly mud. It grows in that mud. But it rises above the water, perfect, the most beautiful flower in the world. And it comes from here. Anger, hatred, greed, jealousy, fear, restlessness, worry, you name it. All these terrible things we are living in here. You can stay here and tenggelam and suffer. Or, while your body cannot be saved, your mind must be cut off. This is what the Buddha and Taoists teach you. You cannot ask the suffering to go away. You can live with the suffering. So Buddhism teaches you not to make the suffering go away, but it teaches you how to live with the suffering, like the lotus flower. Bila jatuh tangga, jangan timpa tangga pula. When you are sick in the body, don't let your mind be sick as well. So this is the teaching. And Taoism. Yeah? What we call those, I mentioned Taoism and Buddhism, okay? Definition of God, I'll come back to that. What is God? A superhuman being. Think of the Buddha and see. Is he a superhuman being? Maybe yes. Worshipped as having power over nature and human fortune. Thus, the Christians, Muslims, and the Jews will tell you that God has this kind of power. The Buddha will tell you, no, he doesn't have that power. He doesn't have the power to control your life. You create your own life. Your karma is what controls you. So your God is karma. Right? And because that karma is created by you, you have the power to change or to cope with whatever there is. At the end of the day, all of this happens because we have a mind. All right? And if we can come to a stage where we develop the mind, the Buddha, he was 80 years old when he died. When he died, he had dysentery. He couldn't walk 25 steps. He was the Buddha. What was he telling you? He was telling you that even he cannot escape from the body. But when he died, he killed the way to be reborn. To be reborn. It's only because you are born that you had to suffer all of this. It is because you're born you inherited all of this. But if you can cheat and you can cut off that which drags you into the next life. What drags you into the next life? Your ego. Just now we were talking about ego. Yeah, it is the I. When I die, I don't want to die. I cling on to life. So because I am clinging on to life, I am pulled into the next life. I don't want to die, so I come back. However, if I let go of life, that dana comes back to mind. If I let go of life like the Buddha, I am not reborn again. When I'm not reborn, I don't have old age, disease, death. It's birth that gives rise to all of this. Okay? All right. Superhuman being worshipped as having power over ancient. This is what I promised to tell you. There are two types of religion in the world. We are talking about God and so on. What? Theocentric and homocentric. Theocentric religions, Christianity, Islam, Judaism, they say that God created the world, God is the master, God is the controller, God is responsible for everything. This we call theocentric religion. God is the creator. All right? But Taoism and Buddhism say, no, there is a God. By the way, in Buddhism we don't deny God. But God in Buddhism and Taoism say that you don't explain the world. Christianity, Islam and Judaism explain the world through God. God created the world, God everything, anything happens, God. The Buddhists say no, it is not God who created the world, but man who created God. Remember, go back to my early part about animism, where we created concepts of God. But we needed concepts of God in order to protect us from the universe. Okay? And the Buddha says the same thing. You do not rely on God. We call this human. We start with the human being. Our starting point is not God. Our starting point is the human being. That is why when the Buddha taught the first sermon, the first thing that the Buddha taught was the Four Noble Truths. He did not say God made you. He said there is suffering. Notice the difference. There is suffering means this is the universe. This is the way the universe is created. Alright? And this way the universe is created, you cannot be born and not expect to grow old, fall sick, die. This comes with the territory. All that you can do is learn to cope with it. Learn how do you prepare for old age? How do you prepare for death? Nobody is exempted. Yeah? Not what is suffering, but how to cope with the suffering. These we call humanistic religions. Humanistic religions start with God, with man. Okay? We're running short of time. We've got a lot more to go. Okay? But Buddhism does not deny the existence of God, except that we won't put the capital G. Buddhism, not only one God, but many gods. We actually got three types of gods in Buddhism. Yeah? Three types of religion. Three types of God. Samuti Deva, Upapatti Deva, and Visuddhi Deva. Okay, a bit confused. Yeah. We don't deny there are gods, but the Buddha goes as far as to say there are 3 types of gods that are recognized. One is the Samuti God. Samuti is what we call conventional. We accept them, or we designate them as gods. The Agong is a god. We always say in Buddhism, our parents are gods. Yeah, these are the conventional gods that society has accepted. Okay, conventional gods, Samuti Deva. The Agong is a god. Why? The Agong has more power than us. The Prime Minister has more power. We are not saying they are good. We are saying they have more power. That's the difference. Okay? So, gods also have shortcomings. Gods are not pure. Gods are not perfect, what we made them to be. Remember I told you how we created all this to make the gods believe they were good? They're actually not good, but we plastered them. Then when we make pictures of them, instead of making we make them like that. Okay? And then we say, oh, God is good. But if you really look at it, is God good? Is God fair? Think about it. Be honest. And the Buddha says that. So there's a Samuti Deva. These are the conventional gods. Starting with the Agong all the way down. Alright? Trump is a god. Believe it or not. Don't tell him because he'll believe that. Anyway, then we have the gods that we meet with in religion, we call Upapatti Deva. Upapatti Devas, they have no father, mother. They are spontaneously born. They are born spontaneously. They live in higher realms. They may be living alongside with us. They may be sitting here. Those what you call Upapatti Deva. These are the Devas that were recognized by Numina. Alright? So you have the Samuti Deva, but the Buddha recognizes, and we Buddhists only recognize one type of God, what we call Visuddhi Deva. Gods by purity. The Buddha was born as a human being. He went through lifetime after lifetime suffering. Old age, disease, death, old age, disease, death, on. And each time he was born with a body, he suffered. Alright? But by purifying his mind, getting his mind, ridding his mind of anger, hatred, greed, jealousy, fear, restlessness, through meditation, through self-effort, he created that condition of perfectness. So he is a Visuddhi Deva. And we all can become gods by purity. Do good, avoid evil, purify the mind. This is what the Buddhist teaching is. All of Buddhism is. Only 3 things you need to do. Do good, avoid evil, purify the mind. Purify the mind. What is purify the mind? Get rid of lobha, dosa, moha. Get rid of delusion. The delusion that there is an I here. Get rid of that. Start with dana. Okay? Dana, get rid of delusion. Okay? Because of delusion, you have a false sense of I. When you have a false sense of I, you have a sense of my. My means I am greed. So my delusion leads to greed. I am all the my. And all the problems of the world for you and the world is my. Kill the mind. So your delusion creates the mind. But this cannot happen so easily. Therefore, there's always frustration. We are always, what we Buddha calls suffering, is what we call frustration. What I want, I do not get. If you can destroy that, destroy the I as the Buddha did, then you become Visuddhi Deva. Do good, avoid evil, purify the mind. anybody, I'm going to end with this statement, anybody can become a god. If you are a Buddhist, purify your mind. Purify your mind. Okay?